Have you found yourself going about your business in and around town, and then all of a sudden your eyes catch up with a beggar standing or lying right there on your path, pleading for a penny from you? You are not alone. Such sights have become common on the streets of Nairobi, with a growing number of needy people in the country.
The government should keep in place models of assisting the needy. For example, he is a needy. Say he or she is begging because he or she is sick. Then the government or the community is supposed to take that person, and that is Islam, to take that person to the hospital, pay the bills. You want to be cured? You want to be healthy? Yes. He is taken or she is taken to the hospital, she is cured. After that, maybe the community or the government should assist in raising the standard of that person.
With the rise of many people begging and seeking the help of well-wishers on the streets, we decided to set out on a mission to find out the truth about them, with the aim of separating the chaff from the corn. At one of the junctions near Mfangano Street, we bump on one Maria Samuel, a refugee from Tanzania. Besides being disabled on one arm, she says she also suffers from tummy wounds that make her unable to engage in any reasonable economic activity. She usually takes up her 3-year-old daughter with her every day early in the morning from Korogosho slums to sit at this point in town begging passers-by for her daily bread and rent. She doesn't know what else to do for a living.
Beggars in the street. It's because there is a big gap between the rich and the poor. And it's the government to take charge of this. They have to reduce this cap. Members of parliament are crying for high salaries. In fact, I understand they are the highly paid MPs in the world. Surely Kenya is the poorest country, one of the poorest countries in sub-Saharan Africa. They should not earn all this money they're earning. They should try to preach the gap between the poor and the rich, so that these people who are in the street begging can also be earning something at the end of the day, in a month, at the end of the month, so that they cannot go on the street. It is shameful that people are begging in the street, and yet members of parliament want to tax the same people to earn themselves a lot of money. You see, these people, they have to go and buy sugar, they have to go and buy food, and this is that much small money they have. They cannot afford $1 in a day. And that small money they have is what the members of parliament wants. So you see, we will continue having so many people in the street begging to go and pay tax for the members of parliament to earn a lot of salary. Okay, so it's quite unfortunate. The government must stand and protect the common man.
As the street gets abuzz with activities, so does the number of beggars in town. We move on a few meters into Mfangano Street and notice a man moving on his knees and hands instead of walking on foot. Just with a little assistance, Emmanuel is ready and willing to work for a living.
Mimi naomba kama serikali ya Kenya inipatie baiskeli ya kuendesha kwa mikono. It
has also touched me, because every time I'm walking in the streets, I'm just seeing either someone is just lying on the ground, and it just surprises me, because I think what should be done, we should just have, you know, sometimes we just say everything is just the government, but they have an authority to help. Some people like this, they would maybe not have money or something, but they need to get help.
Kafungua kibanda tu cha kuuza nguo, maviatu. nikipata msaada wa kusaidia mtaji.
Niko safarini kaza mwendo, ninakaza mwendo, najikaza kabisa. Niko safarini kaza mwendo, ninakaza mwendo, nipate taji la maisha. Niko safarini kaza mwendo, ninakaza mwendo, najikaza kabisa. Niko safarini kaza mwendo.
Ask these people, have you tried going to hospital? What measures have you taken to try and ensure that you get better? If they have taken such measures, you can try and help them follow up on it, if you can. I know it takes time, but in the long run, it actually assists someone. So it's more of a moral responsibility towards the public, I would say. But as I said, the government is the one that is ultimately responsible. So if you can go to the police, if these people, and report that there's such a person who needs this assistance, and even go to hospital and tell them that this person needs to be assisted, he has this wound and this, I'm sure they can find ways to help you source for money, because I'm sure there are programs that are there to assist people who are not able to access this healthcare. Find out which programs are there to assist them, and whether they are free, or even just get people who are willing to assist, maybe financially or otherwise.
Also on these streets are professional mercy seekers who seek to capitalize on their seeming misfortunes to eke a living. On our trail, we come across a man displaying an open wound on the walking path behind the National Archives, which is on Tomboya Street. On seeing our cameras, he suddenly turns mad at us and threatens to break our equipments. As much as he really appears to be in need, we later found out from his friends he's a beggar well skillful in his trade.
Kidonda chenyewe ni cha kweli, bali chinzi kilianza kidogo sana, ambapo angekipatia matibabu kingepona mara hiyo. Lakini juu chinzi aliona hicho kidonda kinaweza msaidia katika huu mji wa Nairobi kuishi na kutonyang'anya mtu yoyote, ndio ndiposa yeye ukichokora kukitoa kiwe kikubwa. Ana aswa kikubwa, wa mpita njia ukipita unakastahili daktari, ndio ndiposa waweza kumrusha hela. Ukimrusha hela hizo umempa zake za kula na za kunywa, na aswa kisha kunywa yeye yuja ujilaza chini, na ndio ndiposa anaendelea biashara yake kama kawaida. Atumii kwenda hospitali. Anapopata hela hicho, iwe ngapi, iwe 600 iwe 800, hiyo imemtosha yeye kwa kwenda kunywa pombe sana, ndio ndiposa kesho aweze kupata tena nafasi nyingine, aje lale hapo vile kama kawaida yake, ndio aweze kupata pesa zingine.
The same conning tendencies are portrayed by a woman beggar sleeping next to a child freely playing nearby.
Huyu mama huyu wanga na watoto, ambapo mama yeye wanga anakuja, kitu cha kwanza yeye anaenda anakunywa pombe. Akisha kunywa pombe analewa, alafu kisha na maana anakuja, na kuna mama mwingine wa kando ambapo anayekuwa na mtoto mdogo, anamwachia mtoto mdogo kwa kuonyesha wapita njia kuwa ana shida sana, ambapo angetaka aweze kusaidiwa. Na katika harakati zake za ulevi ambapo hawezi ongea na watu wengine wowote, inambidi yeye alale chini, aweke kikombe chake pale. Wewe msamaria mwema unavyopita, utaona kama unaka 10 uweze kumsaidia.
When children are exposed to that and their parents are there, which is in most cases what happens when you go to town, they're supposed to, the parents are actually not supposed to be doing that. It's illegal. So it is upon the public to see if, because what happens is people feel like they don't have a responsibility towards that, or it's not their child. But I normally say try and find out who the parent of that child is and why they are doing that, and also let them know that it's illegal and they could actually be imprisoned for that. It's also a form of child labor and child neglect. So it is incumbent on people, from just as a form of responsibility towards society, to find out why that child is there and try and, to the best of their ability, to see how they can assist. They can even report to the police, or that is if they can't find the children's officer, and just have them just know that there's such a child who's hanging out somewhere and that they need to be taken care of.
Ana wenzake nyuma ya njia yenye inaitwa Ramogi. Anaingia hapa na wenzake, anaonyesha pia amepata hela, wanaburudika, na hasa inakuwa hiyo ndio maisha yao. Kwa kuwa akikosa yoaja barabarani akiwa mlevi, yoalala chini, mpita njia ukipita wamwangushia chochote, zile hela zikitimia ndo ndiposa anaondoka nazo, anaenda anakunywa tena.
We should try and find out what are the issues behind these kind of people being in the streets, because we've also noticed that apart from 1 or 2 being genuine, they're sick. There are quite a number of people who are not really sick, able young women with children on their backs. There's nothing wrong with them. Much as jobs are now hard to come by, there's always something for everyone. There's a dishwashing, there is a laundry. I think we are getting into that generation of the Western world where people are discriminating jobs as well. So maybe that could be the reason why there are so many people begging in the streets. Because again, rural-urban migration. Instead of begging in the streets in Nairobi, you might as well be in the village doing something, because there, if you own a piece of land, or if your family owns a piece of land, accommodation is free, food is very affordable. There is no reason why we should be having people in the streets. So I think maybe the city council should probably look more keenly into the reasons as to why these people are in the streets and try and control it.
Probably as you walk along Tomboya Street near the Sanbanes Hotel, you might have come across another beggar sitting and pulling himself on boxes. As soon as you see him, you are moved with mercy, wondering what befell this man. We too reached the same spot, but immediately this man spotted our cameras. He started throwing tantrums and demanding that we wipe his images from our films. As it is revealed to us, he had reasons to his hostility towards television coverage. He is faking his disabilities so as to hoodwink the public towards getting free donations.
Huyu jamaa wa box huyu kwanza alikuwa ni mfanyabiashara wa kuuza miraa, ambapo alipodhoofika kwa hiyo biashara yake, akaona chinzi na mbinu ya kutafuta pesa ni kutengeneza makoto na kuanza kujivuvuta chini, ndio ili ukimwona ona mtu haizani na chochote uweze kumsaidia. Bali ukweli wa maneno kuwa huyu jamaa ni mguu mmoja mfupi mmoja mrefu, ambapo ulemavu aliokuwa nao ni wa mguu. Yaweza kutembea yeye mwenyewe, yakimbia na haswa kila kitu, lakini chinzi alivyoona maisha ni magumu katika Nairobi hapa, akaona ni heri aonyeshe wananchi kuwa hajiezi hata kamwe. Ndiposa akafunga hii boksi zake na akaanza kujivuruta na kikombe, kwa kuwa yeye hajiezi chochote. Na haswa hujaiona mambo kama hayo katika duniani, labda mazaliwa wako, inabidi sasa uweze kumsaidia. lakini nayo pia kuna hawa watu wa City Council wamuelewa vizuri sana juu anapovuka barabara yeye chukua risari moja mzima kuvuka barabara. Na kishana maana akiona hawa watu wa City Council mshangao na putoya ashikanga watu kwa kuona amesimama mzima na yeye atoka mbio. Sasa ndo ndiposa tuwashindwa tutafanya nini?
As much as there exist a great number of people with genuine needs and worthy of attention from all and sundry, also exists imposters without number. There ought to be systems in place to help weed out questionable characters and offer sustainable assistance to the deserving.
Sasa ikiwa huyu ni mtapeli apate adhabu kidogo, pengine mahakama imfunge miezi 2 au mwaka mmoja, na within that period ya 1 year or 1 month kutakuwa na program za kuweza kumrekebisha na kuweza kumbadilisha na kuweza kumpatia hima na moyo ya kwamba hii kazi wacha, unaweza kufanya kazi na ukafanikiwa. Na akatolewa mifano hai ambayo ipo ya watu ambao walikuwa ni maskini wakaanza biashara ndogo pengine za njugu, sahihi wana they are multimillionaire. Kwa hivyo usually mtu anaanza from the bottom, hanzi from the top. Kwa hivyo usitapeli watu kutaka kuwa tajiri in one night. Hiyo inaweza kuletea matatizo mengi kuliko kutatulia matatizo.
Haswa kabisa kulingana vile ninavyoishi mji wa Nairobi. Kuna wale wengine ambapo wameiweka kuwa ni biashara ya matumizi yao ya kiraha, ambapo na kuna wale wenyewe ambapo wana shida na ambapo wakisaidiwa wanasaidika na hiyo shida, na wengine wameifanya kuwa ndio biashara yao ya kupata riziki kila wakati. Sana sana mtu wapita njia wa Samaria wema hawezi jua chochote kulingana na watu, bali sisi wenyewe wakaaji wenzao tuliyekuwa hapa ndiyo tunayejua huyu haki na ukweli ni asaidiwe. Huyu naye ni njia yake moja kutafuta hela, ndio ndiposa asienda kaiba ama kafanya nini, aweze kukula hela bila jasho lolote.
We are the enablers of the people in the streets. If we stop giving handouts to the people in the streets, then we'll give the government a chance to address the issue. Because as long as we keep giving them a 10 shilling here and a 20 shilling here, the problem will never stop. Because I don't think that the city council might realize the magnitude of the problem that we have in these streets. Because there's actually no problem, their issues are being sorted out. We've seen a lot of programs on TV where the people in the streets are actually making more than we do on a day-to-day basis. If you calculate the amount of money they get in a day and a month, they don't have any problems. These are people who are rich. Yeah.